Hello everyone, welcome back to our next video based on class 11 computer science. In this video, we are going to discuss certain programs and output questions based on the coming exams. So this one is the first question. Here we are declaring a dictionary and then we are getting the values to the dictionary by using the range function. So 1 to 9 values that will be iterated within the I variable, and the keys that will be 1, 2, 3 up to 9, that will be the keys, and the squares are that particular values that will be taken as the value within the dictionary. So here I'm going to execute it. You can see the key and values that's taken here within the dictionary variable. So this one is a simple program that we are discussing as the first one. Then we are moving to the searching process. Here I'm providing the searching process. Here you can see a user defined function that I generated here, and then up to this one is the function body, and this particular block is provided outside the function, and this block will be get executed as the first step when you execute this program. So what will happen within the system? What will happen? They will create the list and then they will create the tuple, and after that we are calling the print function, and within the print function we provide a function calling statement. So this function will be get executed. This function block will be get executed when you call linear underscore search of number of list comma 3. So what will happen? This number underscore list, that's a list variable that we are passing here, and that list that will be retrieved within the iterable, and 3, that's the value that we provided for searching, that will be accepted within the element variable. So whenever we are declaring a user defined function, you need to use def. You need to use def statement there, and then we are providing the user defined function name. Then these are the two arguments that we passed there. So the first variable that will accept either a list or a tuple over here. This one is a list that we passed here, and this one is a tuple that we passed here. So based on the value that we pass, they will generate the variable there. So within the first function calling, we are passing the list. So that list that will be accepted within the iterable, and then 3 that will be accepted within the element variable, and we are setting is underscore found equal to false as the first step, and then we are getting the length of the list and that we passed it to the range function. So we will iterate the values from 0 to n minus 1. So here how many elements are there? 6 elements within the list. So that 6 elements that will be accepted within the iterable, and when you get the length 6, that will be taken. So 0 to 5 values that will be iterated over here. So if for phi treble of phi double equal to element, so here we passed the element value as 3 that we provided for searching. If any of the value is 3, they will provide is underscore found. That's a boolean variable that we initialized with the false value in the beginning, and then we resetted it as true if you found that particular value. If you found, we are returning element found. That's the message that we are providing. F, that's a formatted string. So we are passing 3 found. Like that they will print it. If the data is not found, we will enter to if not in is underscore found, that will be get executed, and they will return 3 not found. So like that they will print it. So just assume that if the user provide 8 as the argument instead of 3, what will happen? They will counter check whether 8 is within the list or not, and that 8 is not part of this list. So they will execute if not is found. So what will be returned? Definitely 8 not found, that particular message that will be returned to the print statement. So like that we can search the element within the list or tuple. So if you are passing a list within the function, that list will be tabulated here, or that they will be searched based on the list. And if you passed a tuple there, from the tuple they will search the element that we passed for finding. So like that they will execute the program. So this one is another program that we are passing here, and here you can see the 3 is already within the list and tuple, so they will return 3 found and 3 found. So like that we are printing the data. So that's another program that we are doing here. And then we are moving to another question. Create a list with name, hash, ID and separate the data by hash. So here we are providing a list of strings. So here the first one is a string, second one is another string that we passed, and third one is also provided. So within this string we passed within the list, the first section is the name and the second one is an ID, so that we need to differentiate by using the hash symbol. So here we provide two tuples and then we are iterating that list as one by one. So as the first step, they will iterate JTP hash 123, that will be accepted within the I variable, and when you provide I dot split of hash JTP, that will be taken within the name variable, and 123 that's taken within the ID variable. So that name that's added to the tuple variable names, and then ID that's added to the ID variable. So like that we added to the tuples as one by one, and after that we are printing that particular data. So that's one of the programs we can do. And this one is another program for finding. Create a program for entering the data in a list and find, square or change the case. So if you provide the list with an integer data, they will find the square, or otherwise they are swapping the case. So both programs that I am going to execute now, the first one, this one that I am going to comment, the first program that we will execute as the first step, and after that we will execute the second block. So here we need to remove this commenting section. I need to comment the rest of the codings also if they provide any error message there. Here that's also commenting. Okay, I think now it's okay. Some more comments are not working there properly. Okay. Okay, now the names that's taken within the first tuple and IDs that's taken within the second tuple, and the original tuple that we passed is this one. The original tuple is passed is this one. The some other coding that's executed along with that, we need to see, yes, this particular block get executed along with that. That's why we got another output there. So executed again. So this one is the original list that we passed, and based on the hash symbol we are dividing the data as two sections, the names and IDs. So that's the coding that we can use there. So this one is the coding that we are using there. So we declare the list and we provide the split function based on hash symbol, and we taken that data to the names and ID variable, and after that we are printing that tuple and the original list there. So that's the simple program that we are creating. And then we are moving to the next coding section. Another program. Here we are providing the list as a user input, and we will find how that will be executed. So here enter the list. So I am providing high as the first one, and then I am going to provide 22 as the second data, both the string and the integer value that I provided. So the string that's converted to uppercase, and we take the square of the integer value. So we print the square, and if it's string we swap the case. If you enter a lowercase character, that will be converted to uppercase. So like that we are changing the case. So that's another program that we solve now. Then we are moving to the next question. Here another coding section that I am using. Create a program for entering the website domain name and print the details without .com. You don't require to print .com within the printing process. So here we can provide different logic there. So the first one is provided with this coding section. So here we declared a blank dictionary and a list there, and then for I in range of 2. So we are printing, or we are accepting the data 2 times, and we created the key and values as the integer and a domain name, a website name that we are entering there, and then we are providing the split function and the 0th location value that we added to the list variable. LL, that's a list variable, and dict1, that's a dictionary variable. So how that will be executed, that I will show you now. So we are going to enter the first domain name that I printed, and then we are printing the, or we are getting the key, and then the second domain name that I am entering now, and then the key that also that we inserted. So here you can see that domain names without .com that we printed there. So how we do that? So we split the data based on dot, and the first data only that we are getting to the LL variable. So they will avoid the .com value whenever we are inserting the value to the LL variable. LL, that's a list variable, and dict1, that's a dictionary variable. Either you can this coding, or otherwise you can use this coding also. Here also the same data that we are using. Dot items means the key and values that we are iterating there. So the integer value and the domain name that we taken, and then we are appending value dot split of dot. So what will happen? In a nested list that will be generated there. From that, the first value means only the domain name without .com that they will taken there. So we are going to print the data once again. Domain name, and then data, then another domain name, and another data that we provided as a key. So like this, we can retrieve the data. Either you can use this logic, or otherwise you can use this logic. So it's a mechanism for retrieving the data based on the list. Then this one is another output question that we are going to solve it now. So here we provide a key and value. Keys are Bhavana, Richard, Firoza, and Ashroon, and the values are 1, 2, 10, 20. Then we are providing a temporary variable declaration, temp equal to null, and for key in edict. What will happen? The keys that will be iterated as first one by one. Bhavana, that will be iterated null less than null value that we set it within the temporary variable. So null less than Bhavana. What will happen? They will replace the value if that's less than. So temporary is less than. So what will happen? Bhavana, that will be placed here, and then again the next value Richard, Bhavana less than Richard. So Bhavana is less than Richard. So Richard, that will be replaced within the temp variable. So like that they will iterate the values as one by one. And what will be the output of this one? What do you think? What will be the output? I'm going to execute it. The value that will be Richard there. The reason is we are counter checking the value whether it's less than or not. And if it's less than, we are replacing the value. So like that, we are getting the value within the temporary variable. So just execute it and just try to identify the answer by yourself. And then we are moving to the next one. Here we are providing another dictionary variable sub, and then we are providing get of CHE, chemistry. So what will be printed? 90. Then items means they are printing the key and value pairs as a tuple. Then sub means len of sub means what will happen? Number of pairs. How many pairs that we provided there? Key and value pairs? 2, 3, and 4. So 4, that will be the output there. Then bio in sub. Bio, that's not within the sub dictionary. So they will return false there. So that will be the output there. We are going to counter check. Here you can see the values that's taken there. So I'll show you the coding once again. So chemistry, that's 90, that's printed there. Then dot items, key and value pairs that we taken as the nested data as a tuple format, within the tuple format. Then len of sub, how many pairs? 4 pairs, that's printed. Then bio, that's not within the dictionary key section, so they return false there. So that's the answer. And then we are moving to another coding section. Dict1 equal to. So here we are providing a dictionary generation, and then we are trying to print the data. What will be printed? 1. So this key section 1 comma 2, that's taken there and that's printed there. And then another declaration that we used to hear, both this particular block that will be taken as keys, and then 6 and 4 that will be taken as the values. So we are going to execute it. So this one is the key and values that they taken there. And another coding, we are moving to next coding section. This one is a program. Here we solve that particular coding section with 2 different logics. I will tell you. What's the question? Creation of dictionary for storing name and marks of students and find the average. So we accepted the value, how many times the data that we insert, that we accepted within the edge variable, and up to that time we will execute the for loop, and we accepted the name and marks of multiple students. We created the dictionary as one by one. The values that will be accepted as key and values, and then we created the student dictionary, and then we are getting the name for the searching process. If of X, if the name entered is within the student dictionary, then we are printing the value. Or otherwise, what's the next process? What's the next process? Student within square bracket X means that values that we accepted within the list variable, and we are getting the sum of the values. That means marks of the 3 subjects that's taken there, or 3 marks that will be added there, and we provide divided by 3 marks. So divided by 3, it will print the average mark. Or otherwise we can use this logic also. For I in student, then we are getting the value section within the li variable, and then we are getting the total, and then divided by 3. So nice, an integer division, they will print the average mark there. So like that we can solve the coding section. That's another program that we are discussing now. And then we are moving to another coding section, sorting the dictionary. How we will sort the dictionary? So here there is no inbuilt function for sorting the dictionary directly. So how we will do that? We are creating multiple dictionaries, dict boys and girls, that we provided there, and then dict.keys. What will happen? Only the key sections, Tim, Charlie, Tiffany and Robert, that's taken there. And then sort function, this particular variable that will be a list, so we can use the sort function there. After sorting, you are getting the value from the list as one by one, and that value that we are printing here within the formatted printing technique, we are printing the data from the dictionary. So like that we can sort the data. So here we provide 3 dictionaries. So how we will add multiple dictionaries to a single one? Just try to do it by yourself. That's another program that we discussed now. And then another program is this one, create dictionary in different ways. So here either we can use eval function for creating the dictionary, or dict function that we can use, dict of name and age, that will be taken as the key and value. Otherwise we can use zip function there, zip function for accepting the dname and location, like this. So dname, sales, location, Delhi, like that they will pair it. And then here we are providing name, CPS, that will be taken there. So that's a different mechanism for creating the dictionary. So I will show you the output. Insert name and phone number. Let's the first dictionary generation that we provided there, that's a eval function. So I am providing the name as the first value, and then the phone number, then the name of the second person, and then the phone number. So like that we can create the dictionary. So this is the different formats that's available for the dictionary generation. That's another coding section. And then what will be the output of this one? This one is also an output generation question. We created the dictionary, and then keys means only the keys 1, 2 and 3 that will be printed. Values means the within words they will print the data. Then dot items means what will happen? Both the key and value pairs that will be printed as a tuple. Then get of 5 comma error, what will be returned there? And if you provide get of 3 comma error plus 10, what will be printed? So you need to identify the answer by yourself. I'm going to execute it. Before that, just try to work out that particular coding. So what will be the answer? Going to execute it. So that data that's already displayed here. Here you can see. Here the first dictionary that's printed there, then keys, that's only keys that we printed as a list, and then the values that's printed as a list. But when you use dot items, what will happen? They taken the data as key and values within a tuple format, and then 5 is not within the dictionary, so they print the second data that's provided there, error that's printed. Here 3 is already there, the 12 that will be taken plus 10, 12 plus 10, 22. So like that they printed it. 3, this 3 data, that's 12. So 12 plus 10, 22, that will be printed there. So like that they will execute the coding section. Then we are moving to another coding section. Here you can see another declaration. Let's say list type declaration, and then we are using the slicing concept. Different types of syntaxes that we are using there. So what will be printed? So 2 colon 3. So only the first data, second location data, second index location 0, 1, 2. O, that's printed there. Then the entire list that's printed, my list that's printed there. Then 2 colon 3 equal to null. So what will happen? That particular index location values that's provided as null. So that they will regenerate the index, or they will regenerate the list there. So the repositioned it automatically. And again 2 colon 5. Again we are providing the resetting process. So again certain data are gone. They resetted the list like this. Let's see output for that question. So I will show you the question. So this one is the question. So 2 colon 3, then 2 colon 3 equal to null. What's happened? And 2 colon 5, what's happened when you execute it? So that particular data that's erased from the existing list, and then we printed the final list. So that's another coding section. And then we are moving to another list generation. Here you can see the data that's taken. This one is a list declaration, then dot index of 2, index location of 2. What is the index location? First occurrence of that value that will be retrieved there. Then count of 2, how many times that 2 occur, that will be printed. Then this one is a little bit different. Just try to execute it by yourself. So what will be the output? I'm going to execute it. Just try to work out it by yourself. So this one is the output that we got here. We'll close it and run it once again for seeing it properly. So this is the output. So what's happened? Index of 2, 0. Then index of count of 2, how many times 2 occurred? 3 times, that's 3, that's printed. Then 76, how we got 76? Odd means 135 plus 20, 80, 50. So they concatenated at 2 lists, and then from that fourth location value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 80 that will be taken there, 80 for this part. For this part 80 that will be taken, then odd 135 and then 246. So 135, 246 over here, and then from that fourth location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 80 minus 4 that will be taken there. So like that they are taking the value within the a variable, and what's printed there? 76. 80 minus 4, that's taken. That's why we got 76 there. That's another question. That's another output question. And then another set of question. Here you can see what will be the output of this one. It will be the output 5, 6, 7. That's string type data that we passed within the list. And then we are iterating while of x. There is value. So they will iterate the values as one by one. And what will be printed after this process? Just try to work out it by yourself. I'm going to execute it. What will be the answer? Here you can see the answer 5, 6, that's printed. Then 5, that's printed. So each iteration process that's printed there. Then after that, that will be blank. Why that's blank? Uh, after execution. After y, when you print, after adding the entire data within the y variable, we will get the output as 765. And then x, when you print x again, that's a null list. So when you iterate this particular loop, what's happened? X contains 567, that's a string, and we are counter checking whether x contains any value or not. Then y equal to y initially null, then y plus x minus 1, 7, that will be taken to the variable y, and then that's a string declaration. So they will concatenate that value. Then x equal to x colon ln of x minus 1. So what will happen? Up to the previous data, they will take the value to the x variable, resetted the value within the x variable. So 5 and 6, that will be taken there. 5 and 6, that will be taken there. Then again, what happened? That data that's printed there. So like that, they are taking the data as one by one, and then after executing the other thing, what will happen? They will reset the x variable. That will be lead to null, and then after y, 7, 6 and 5, that will be concatenated within the y variable. Y, that's a string, so that's concatenated there within the reverse order. As the first step 7, then 6, then 5. That's concatenated within the y variable, and that's taken there. And then what's the next step? We are printing the x again, so that's a blank list. So that's why we got this output. That's why we got this output. This is the output for that question. And then we are moving to another program. This one is another question. What will be the output of this one? The outputs are provided within the commenting. Just try to work out it by yourself and just try to figure out how you got that particular output. I'm not going to execute it. After sorting, we rearrange the data, or whether that's not sorted or not, that you need to identify here. So I'm going to execute it once again. So this is the output that we got. Print of C. What's happened? Count of 40. 40 how many times? 2. So 2. Then 41.25. Mean of L. This list variable contains certain values, and based on that, they are finding the mean value. So that's 41.25. Then they sorted the content within the list by using sort function. So that's the output. We used the statistics module for using the mean function. And here is another output generation question. Here we provide a list. So what will happen? How that will be taken there? I'm going to provide the print statement there, print of str2. What will be printed? They will take the each character as the list value. They will take the each character. So here you can see each character that's taken there. So after that, executing that list values. Len of str2. Len means what will be the length? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Star also, that's taken as a character. Space, if you provide any space, that also will be taken as a character. So here, len of str2 minus 1, 0 to n minus 1, that will be the data that we are providing there, or the indexing that we used there. If of I w equal to 5, what will happen? Here we are taking the index locations within the 0th location, 1 location, 2 location. So if the I value is 5, then str of I equal to str of 2 of I into 2. So what will happen? They will replicate the character. They will replicate the character and they will reset within the variable. So what will be the output? Here you can see. This is the output that we got there. This is the output that we got there. So like this, they will execute the coding section and we got the output like this. It's another program. It's another output question. Just try to work out it by yourself. And then write a program to search a first occurrence of an element in a list by using linear search. So here a list that we are declaring, and then we are providing the linear search mechanism there. W equal to, let's add a frequency, that's also taken there. It's another program that we are using for searching the data. So we declare one empty list and one variable. Then how many items do you want to enter in the list that we inserted within the n? Up to that we will iterate the loop and we accepted the value within the list variable. Then we are using set function. Set function, what's the purpose of set? They will avoid the duplicate data, and then after that we are creating the list variable there. And then for ins, what will happen? They will iterate the values as one by one, and we are counter checking whether that particular value is there or not. And then we added that particular data to the variable. So like this, we are creating the program based on write a Python program to search the first occurrence of an element in the list by using linear search and display frequency of each element present in list and a search element should be entered by user. So that's the question and this is the answer. And this is the answer. So we provide the list generation and then we try to retrieve the data from the data as one by one. So for k in d, like that we are accepting the value there. So based on the yes variable, we removed the duplicate values by using set function, and then we are passing that value to the looping section. And then for j in l, that's the original list that we inserted. Based on that we are counter checking it as one by one, and if it's there, what's the next process? For j in l, if it's taken and we are counter checking and we are getting the count, and then we are inserting within the dictionary. So each sections, if any of the values is provided duplicate times or if they are repeated the same value within the list, what will happen? They will get the count of that particular value. Both the, if a particular value provided only one time, that's taken there, otherwise multiple times is entered, that will also be added to the dictionary. How many times the data occurred within the list, that will be taken within the dictionary variable. Frequency of each value that's taken there, that's printed. So after that we are providing the searching mechanism there, the first occurrence that will be printed there, or otherwise they will print element not found. So that's another program that we can use or we can create by using dictionary and list concept. These are the coding sections that we are discussing in this video. Just try to do it by yourself and only your logics will be developed. So just try to do it by yourself. Thank you.